Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Bob Marley and the Wailers pianist Tyrone Downey is dead. Jamaican keyboardist pianist Tyrone Downey, known for his work as a member of the Bob Marley and the Wailers, died last evening in Jamaica on the way to the University Hospital of the West Indies. At the time of his death, he played with the France-based reggae band called Jazz. Tyrone will be sadly missed. He was a great musician and a very important person in the music business. He was supposed to be part of the showcase we had planned for Tuesday of this week, but we knew he was ill and had not planned for him to come, but he passed last night, Michael, a respected reggae music promoter in France, told reporters. Downey produced 2 albums, one for the Tikinja Fokole, which was released last Friday, and another for Jazz, which will be released on Tuesday, with a show in France. Woman killed, 3 others injured in Hanover crash. A pharmacist assistant was killed and 3 others injured in a 2-vehicle crash along the Salt Creek Main Road in Orange Bay, Hanover, Saturday night. She is 42-year-old Charmaine Brown, who was a resident of Orange Bay in the parish. Reports from the Green Island Police are that about 11:30 p.m., Brown was among passengers traveling in a Toyota Nova bus from the direction of Negril to Green Island. On reaching a section of the Salt Creek Main Road, the driver of the Toyota Premium motor car reportedly failed to keep left and collided with the Nova bus. Brown and 2 other passengers sustained serious injuries and were rushed to the Savannah Lamar Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. The others were admitted in serious condition. The driver of the Premium motor car, who also sustained injuries, was taken to the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover, where he was admitted. 2 bike taxi operators in Hanover hospitalized after gun attack. 2 bike taxi operators are now nursing gunshot wounds in hospital after coming under attack at an establishment in Orange Bay, Hanover on Sunday morning. The men ages 22 and 42, who are from the community of Longwood, are in serious but stable conditions. The shooting happened around 12:15 a.m. It is reported that the men were among persons at the establishment when they were pounced upon by 2 men armed with handguns who opened fire. Both men were hit and their attackers fled on foot into the area. The police were called to the scene and the injured men were taken to hospital. Issa apologizes after lights were turned off early at Stadium East Field. The Inter-Secondary School Sports Association ISSA has apologized to students, teams, patrons, and match officials present at Saturday's Manning Cup between Mona High School and Charlie Simit High School. In a press release on Sunday, ISSA highlighted that immediately after the match, lights at the National Stadium field where the match was played were turned off, creating what is described as a safety concern. ISSA said it deeply regrets the incident and assured the public that the action was unintentional. Immediately after the conclusion of the game, the lights at the complex were turned off. This created a safety concern, which we deeply regret. Initial reports from the Independent Park Limited has indicated that the turning off of the lights at the time was unintentional and not in keeping with their contractual obligation to ISSA, the statement read. ISSA would like to inform the public that the Independent Park Limited has given its full assurance that this will not recur at any further games, this statement concluded. Neighborhood Watch, or the future movement for persons who decide to take on some responsibility, not just for themselves, stated Commissioner, Police Major General Anthony Anderson.
It's a pleasure to be here for a number of reasons. This was certainly the church of my mother, who started here at Andrews Memorial in 1971. And so certainly in my younger years, I would come here from time to time. So I'm very familiar with it. Long before you had air conditioning unit in here. You had grills and the breeze used to blow through. This is an important service, and important for 2 reasons. One is that, of course, it's our National Neighborhood Watch movement, national church service, but also I see on the program that it's also the Pathfinder Day as well. And those 2 things have been brought together and combined in this service. So it's something to celebrate, and it's no bad thing that as we talk about the way that communities and neighborhoods come together to support each other and support what we do as the police, that our young people are part of that process. So it has a good synergy, and hopefully our pathfinders will be part of those neighborhood watch movements, and it speaks to the future of the neighborhood watch movement, which is really the future of persons who have made a decision. And that decision is that they are going to take on some responsibility, not just for themselves, but for the wider community. Now, this is a decision, I must say, that every police officer made while they're in the police force. So police officers made the decision that their own personal safety isn't as important as the safety of the community. That they are going to sacrifice themselves and risk their safety on behalf of people they don't even know. But it's on behalf of the idea of community, on behalf of the idea that they want to spend their energy in supporting other people. So even as we have many discussions, and there are a lot of discussions now about rights, or individual rights, that well-intentioned as they are, they have driven us somewhat into an idea of selfishness. Because by its very definition, individual and mine, those are words that are associated with a particular approach to things. So with that sort of individuality, when that becomes what is most important, then right behind that is a spirit of selfishness. When we start to talk about the collective, and we start to talk about our responsibility, largely that focus is outwards. And our responsibilities are for others. And I think that, as I say, well-intentioned discussion sometimes leads to people doing selfish acts. I need to make a living, so I have to inconvenience everybody to make that living. And you see it reflected in many ways in the society. It's my right to make a living, never mind what responsibilities come with that right. So it made me reflect that as a young man growing up, or a boy, I didn't know that I had rights. Nobody ever spoke to me about children's rights. It was not even a concept at the time. What they spoke to me about was my responsibility, and perhaps those discussions has led to me to where I am now. And how did that play out? I can tell you, as a young man, if I'm in a bus and I'm seated and a lady comes in, it would be unheard of for me to remain seated and have her stand up. Old-time things. Nobody was talking to me about rights. Everything was about my responsibility to others and to the community. And I think that the persons who have joined and are part of the Neighborhood Watch movement have made these choices. And perhaps as the choice of being a part of the solution, one part of that is to have those same discussions with the young people that focus more on what you can do for others, and what needs to be done for you will be taken care of. It's a different approach, but it's an approach that will take care of most of these interpersonal issues that you heard spoken about earlier. They largely reach where they reach because of selfishness. That is at the bottom, at the root of it. And this idea that they have a right to something. It could be deadlift, could be something else. They have a right to it over their responsibility to the wider community. So let me just congratulate those members of the Neighborhood Watch movement who have come on board with us as the police, and that organization that by its very definition will always put the collective in front of our own safety. Thank you.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click